यो 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 सब आज हम कर रहे हैं भाई। आज हम कर रहे हैं कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं भाई। आज फिर भी कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं। दिन सुबह उठ के सिर्फ रिएक्शन कर रहे हैं। आज हम ये रहे 2 साल पुराना वीडियो। डू इंडियन सी देमसेल्स एज एशियंस? लुक, टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग वी आर एशियंस, बट अगर हम फॉरेनर्स वेस्ट वेस्ट साइड से देखेंगे, मतलब यूएस, यूके, उनसे उनके साइड से देखेंगे हम, then they will stereotype us as a Southeast Asians, which is kind of weird, but at the same time, it's like they are defining us. But let's see what this video is all about.
Hey bosses, it's Marie from Asian Boss. When you think
Hello,
of
Marie.
Asia,
How
what
are you?
countries pop into your head first?
I'm doing good.
Perhaps Korea, Japan, or China? But what about India? It seems that in the West, people first think of East Asian countries before South Asian countries like India. For example, recently Malaysian comedian Ronnie Chang joked on The Daily Show that Indians are not Asians in a stand-up comedy skit, and how he does not feel represented by Britain's first Asian Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. Chang has gotten quite some online backlash for this joke, but how do Indians feel about this? Do they think of themselves as Asians or Indians? And how is India different from the rest of Asia anyway? Our Asian Boss reporter hit the streets of Delhi to find out.
Which are the three countries that come to your mind when you think of Asia?
Asia,
Yeah.
Russia, China.
Mine is India first. India, China, Russia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka.
And Hong Kong.
China, Japan.
Being an Indian, I would say India first, China,
That's my guy. That's my guy.
Korea, Japan.
India first.
Sri
bro.
Lanka, China, Philippines, Singapore.
I'm an Indian, so India first of all, and then Indonesia, and of course our neighbor country Pakistan.
Is India part of Asia or like a separate continent?
I personally
What are these questions, bro? It's like if you are asking a German, not Italian guy, is Italy a part of you? It is, but it's like asking the question is like asking Italian person, are you a Italian or European? What he will say? He will say Italian. I also European. But this is for the Western people, in my opinion. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि Western लोगों के लिए ये तो क्योंकि they didn't, because of our body, because of our eyes, they don't see us as Asians because Asia is so diverse. If we go east, there is all Eastern Asian people which look pretty identical. But if we go southeast, Middle East, they look kind of like they have brown skin. If we go up Russia side, they have a whole different. So it's like not just Asia. If you see in European countries, Eastern Europe, and Western Europe is so different. It's so different. If you go Romania, if you go UK, oh, that's a different. So it's not. Let's see. I don't even want to talk about it.
believe that it is a part of Asia, but some people they do believe that yeah, it should be some different continent, but I don't personally consider it.
I believe that it's a part of Asia, but considering that it's called a subcontinent in itself, the Indian subcontinent, which comprises of all the India and its neighboring countries.
I
So
see,
yeah,
I
a
see.
lot of people do think of it as separate from Asia, and especially in other countries.
I understand that when somebody in the US or in the West thinks of Asia, you think of Asia as East Asia, right? So China and Korea and all of those places. But no, I think of India as part
That's
of
what I
Asia.
said.
I would normally prefer to say that India is separate. Technically, it's Asia, but I would say that culturally and otherwise as well, it's like a separate.
How? How? I don't see that. I don't see that. So, look, if you're talking about culturally, then how the fuck Romania and UK are similar. So it should be like a Eastern Europe, Western Europe, choose of world. No, it's like it's my opinion, but I think India is so diverse that people don't even know about it. Like lots of foreign people don't even know India have multiple languages. They just think like we have one language, Hindi, and they speak all of it. No, every 100 kilometers, language changes or the tone of saying means accent changes. So it's kind of diverse country.
Continent in itself. If you look at the food or the culture and everything else, then it's like a whole different vibe, you know. Like you cannot compare it with, like, for example, China, Japan, or South of Korea.
It's culturally different, but there are some similar things. I see where she comes from. Like, what's her point?
Personally, see yourself as Asian or Indian?
I will see myself as an Indian.
I would prefer to be as an Indian.
First of all, I'll say I'm an Indian and Asian afterwards.
Specifically Indian, but Asians.
If someone asks me like what are you, I would say Indian. I wouldn't think of Asian.
Indian, and I feel proud to be called or known as Indian.
I think I see myself as an Indian.
I like
would
this
not
guy.
identify myself with someone who's, say, from any Southeast Asian country or any Chinese person, Indonesian person from Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand.
If any foreigner would call you Asian, would you be offended?
Not really,
Okay, I never.
because I am an Asian. I am a part of this
Yeah,
continent, so I
technically
won't be
we all
offended.
are
There was
Asian.
this popular Malaysian comedian Ronnie Chan. He recently said on a very popular US talk show that, joked about Indians.
It's 2 years old, and I have seen the clip, but I don't remember it. What did he say? It's all about the Rishi Sunak, I guess. Yeah.
Not be Asians in a stand-up comedy kit. Let us show you a clip of what people are talking about.
The new Prime Minister of the week, Rishi Sunak. And I know everyone is really excited that this is the first Asian Prime Minister, but let's be clear, Indians are not Asian, okay? Okay? They're still people, great people, they're just not Asian people, okay? No, answer me this. If this guy is Asian, how come when he became Prime Minister, I felt absolutely nothing? I mean, when I was down at Dim Sum Palace this morning, me and the fellas were like, oh shit, that's me up there. I feel seen. I love how Indians try to have it both ways, like being Indian and Asian. Pick a lane, okay? Yeah,
Oh, I
I bet if
remember
I
this
show up
clip
in a
now.
Bollywood film, I'm just gonna blend right in, right? Because we're all just one people just having a good time.
It's his perspective, right?
Yeah, it's his perspective. I think he's doing for it's American TV show. So he was doing it for American stereotypes, which are like Indians are not Asians and blah 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 because of they don't teach geography. I guess so. They might have been teaching, but at the end, like he got a lot of backlash for this. So I just want to say one thing that you should, मतलब Indians हमें थोड़ा सा क्रिटिसिज्म लेना और जोक्स सहन करना कि हमें करना पड़ेगा प्रैक्टिस क्योंकि Indians don't take jokes like if you ask Chinese they will take jokes. Will Chinese take jokes on China? I think so, yes. But Indians, मुझे नहीं लगता Chinese भी ले सकते थे. What example? Fuck it, I don't remember. So what the end of the day, I just want end of this clip. I just want to say one thing. It is that थोड़ा सा criticism ले लो. हम जितना दूसरों को criticism देते हैं, उतना हम उतने से half हमें criticism देना चाहिए. Criticism लेना चाहिए थोड़ा और सहन शक्ति चाहिए.
It's his perspective, I believe. But I feel Indian and Asian is the same thing for me. We are part of the continent, of course we are Asian. There is no doubt about it. It is not about, it is a fact, it is not about people's understanding.
So what was your immediate reaction to this?
I think it's funny. Yeah.
It's funny. Let's whoa. Let's take some jokes. Jokes अच्छे होते हैं I think. हाँ, jokes अच्छे जब तक होते हैं तब तक उसमें लिमिट के बाहर जाए तो फिर वो कंट्रोवर्सी में खड़े। हाँ, उस वक्त रिएक्ट होना it's okay, it's fine.
India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. I think of all these countries as like culturally similar. But if you think from his point of view, it's right that if he looks up at Rishi Sunak or someone like that, he cannot really relate to them, you know. So that's why I would say that maybe he's right. Yeah.
So I felt that that kind of stupidity in that. This guy, he's saying that Rishi Sunak.
Now, bro, I liked you. भाई मैं बहुत इंटेलेक्चुअल लग रहा हूँ। नहीं भाई, मैं इतना भी इंटेलेक्चुअल नहीं हूँ, बकचोदी करने के लिए बैठा हूँ यहाँ पे। बट हमें जोक्स लेने चाहिए। It was not that deep. Let's be clear, it's not that deep. He's just saying for American people, and we shouldn't be bothered about it, in my opinion.
Sunak is not an Asian, he's an Indian. So Asia is a continent. China, Malaysia, Japan, India, they all are part of that Asian continent. So in that way, we all are Asian.
It is a comedy skit after all, so do
Yeah.
you find it funny or rather feel offended?
I find it funny. It's funny. But at the same time, my inner Indian is saying, no, you should be offended. But I'm telling him, no, keep chill. It's just a joke. And it's under the limit. So it's okay.
No, I find it funny. Yeah, I think people are getting offended very easily these days. You should take it in
I
a
said
lighter
it.
sense.
I
It's
said
funny, but I think saying that Indians are not Asians and saying that Indians don't like being called Asians are two different things. So if you say Indians are not Asians, it excludes them from the whole continent. You don't have a monopoly over the continent, right? So that's
see,
the
right,
difference I
yo.
feel. And I completely understand where he's coming from, because if I see some person who doesn't look like me get into a power position of authority, I won't really relate with him. I relate with Rishi Sunak because he looks like me. If he didn't look like me,
I don't even know. Oh, it's 2 years old. I'm going too deep in this.
I probably would not relate with him. So I don't really mind this.
I think it's funny. He made a joke, and I think it's a good
Yeah,
joke.
he made
He's a
a
great
joke.
comedian. He's playing to the American stereotype of Indians versus
Look what I just said.
Asians. In America, you think of Asians as East Asians, and you think of Indians and Pakistanis and Bangladeshis as Indians, right? He's just playing to that stereotype. It's got no global context. I don't think any Indian should ever worry about it.
Yeah, we
And I actually
shouldn't
think it's a
bother
funny
about
joke.
it. It's old. It's old. I don't know why I'm reacting, but I'm still gonna drop this.
It's quite hilarious.
So when you travel overseas, have you ever been called Asian by foreigners, or do they
Have I? No, because I never been outside of India. Fuck outside of India. I never been outside my hometown. So I don't know. Yeah.
call you entirely different, something entirely?
I haven't been called Asian. I've been called Indian, in fact. Yeah, I have.
Where was that?
I think it was in the US.
I was never called Asian, no. People try to guess, and normally they don't really get it in the first turn. So I have been called like from the Middle East or from North Africa or even Spain or Italy. But yeah, usually they don't immediately.
Are you sure about it, man? Are you sure about it? I'm not saying none. I'm just saying.
Think of India, you know.
I think people would think of me as Indian. Yeah, I don't think people would think of us as Asian. They would think of us as Indian, but that's their ignorance, right? A person can belong to the country they belong to and to the continent they belong to. It's harder to think of yourself as part of the continent, though, because Asia is such a diverse continent, as opposed to actually even Europe. It's so diverse. Like the European part of Russia is so different from British people, right? Like English.
This guy's copying all my shit. It's the same what I said. It's the same example he's giving. What the fuck, man.
people. So people don't think of themselves within the context of their continent. They think of themselves within the context of the country they live in.
What are the stereotypes you encounter as an Indian when you are overseas? Personally, I have not like witnessed any typical Indian stereotypes, but more towards like, oh, you're supposed to be good at maths because like Asian people are supposed to be good at maths. You play an instrument. These kind of things I've seen. I suck at both, so.
So I went for a
Me too. Wanna go on a date? Just asking. Drop in comments. Kidding. If you are here, you look nice.
conference
Oh my.
in Germany, and I met some people from Spain who
Oh my
actually
God, I'm
thought
sorry.
that people in India still have like elephants and horses, and this guy really
Don't you have horses? Look, here is my horse. Sorry.
seriously asked me like,
Was it a bad joke? It wasn't even a joke. It's a straight disrespect. I'm sorry. I'm
does
sorry.
your father own elephants or something like that? And I was like, no, that doesn't happen anymore. And then about the cow.
Look, in my opinion, वो क्या कर रहे stereotypes? क्योंकि जब ब्रिटिशर्स गए इंडिया छोड़ के उन्होंने जो सारे स्टीरियोटाइप्स वहां पे लेके गए उस टाइम पे जो इंडिया था वो ही उसने ड्रैग करते करते हम 21st सेंचुरी में आए still the thing that people okay
Was on the streets, which is also not true. I mean, not all the time.
all the time.
Where do you think these stereotypes come from?
Drama.
I think
Drama.
they are more, you know, when Britishers were here in India and the situation of the country at that time, and it was maybe probably when they went back, they took some ideas with them and this somehow spread. So people who have never been to India, they are just relying on these like.
Why I am so good at this shit? I just gave this example and she just said the same shit. How should I even react to this? I'm sorry, it's getting bored if you are.
200-year-old stories. So I think that's where it came from.
Everybody thinks that every Indian is great at Bhangra, is great at like dancing, and that's not really true, right? I suck at it, for example.
I can see that. Oh, sorry.
So,
I'm sorry.
I mean, that's funny. You just kind of expect that people would be good at dancing because any Bollywood videos that get forwarded around are videos of people, you know, dancing really well. And I mean, Bollywood's huge, right? I mean, if there ever was a stereotype, it was a positive stereotype. People like.
No, not all Indian stereotypes are positives. First of all, first Indian stereotype, we stink. What? Second, we don't have good hygiene. Third, we still own elephants and a horse. Fourth, their cows are everywhere. Fourth, I mean, there are cows. Cows. Oh, fuck my head. There are still cows, but it's not all the time. So there are not good but bad stereotypes too.
Expect a lot out of you as an Indian. They expect that you've studied a lot. They expect that you've gone to good schools. They expect that you probably are a hard worker. When they look around, oh, there's a problem over here, maybe we need a doctor. Everybody looks at the Indian guy sitting over there who might actually solve their problem, right? So I don't think it's a real problem. I think any stereotype comes from lack of awareness, lack of exposure. If somebody thinks of every Indian as Paki and they.
Ooh, this word is so danger. This word almost got KSI cancelled. So yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know.
Think of that as a negative thing. Well, that's probably because they don't have an Indian friend. When they do, they won't think that way.
How much do you think foreigners know about India?
They don't know much about India. They know that they have ruled India for almost 200 years. That's all they know.
Economically, we are becoming strong. We are exporting few things. Politically as well, we are one of the key member of different organizations. So I don't think they don't know about India. If you tell them that you are Indian, they will know where are you coming from.
Depends on area. Depends on which country. Or if you are in UK, there are a lot of Indians. If you go to area where, let's say, South Americas, then they don't know much about India. They just think that Oh my God, I don't even want to touch that topic. Sorry,
Where is India?
I
Who
can't
is
say
like a prime minister and everything?
I don't think there's a problem of people being aware of India. We're a very strong presence in the world, a very strong presence, and I think it's only going to grow. When you go to the UK, there's nobody who doesn't know India for so many obvious reasons.
Look, I'm so good at this shit.
Right? It's only a matter of time where everybody's very, very acutely aware of India because, I mean, look at the number of leaders that are Indian.
I don't think people who have never been to India, they know a lot. If they have Indian friends or like colleagues or something like that, then they are like really exposed. But otherwise, I don't think people really know much about India.
But does that make sense to you when India is arguably the most populous country in the world? Why is there like so little awareness about India on the global stage?
That's true because Indians are everywhere, right? So everywhere we go, there are so many Indians, and this is also a question that puzzles me. So probably when we go abroad, we are taking our culture with us, but probably we are so overwhelmed with the Western culture that we
Yeah,
are more getting into it rather than expressing our own.
she had, she have one of the most valid points. She have been like killing this.
Think, and that's why people are not really aware.
The major source
Like yeah, she has the best point. Like, the point that she made is crazy.
that
I
people
fuck
get
with
to
it.
know about a country is through the popular culture, is through songs and music and through TV shows and movies. And I don't think there are a few movies and a few shows that have reached that level where it has a global audience, but I don't think that kind of reach we have yet.
What do you want that foreigners should know about India that their media fails to portray, fails to tell that what India is?
As comparing other countries, other developing countries, India is growing at a very fast pace. They should know this.
People generally think India is very unsafe for women. They make it seem to be like a very bad place. I'm not saying that's safe. It's not.
Yeah, it's not safe, but in some areas, the point that she am about to make, I think I'm gonna assume it. She's trying to say कि भाई कुछ एरिया में जाओगे, women are really safe, but in some areas, women are literally not safe. We have one of the worst examples this year in 2024. So I don't even want to go and touch that topic, but I'm just saying one thing. India is safe for women in certain areas, and in some areas there are not. I don't want to name any city. I don't want to name uh any area. So it's okay. I'm not talking about it.
Safe, but at the same time, it's not as scary as they portray it out to be in the movies and stuff.
They only portray it about the poor people in India and how they are living their life. You will find similar examples in US and UK as well. You have to tell the both side of stories.
Yeah, that's thing that I don't really like to. भाई Slumdog Millionaire पता होगी तुम्हें कि इसमें सिर्फ slums दिखाते. And one of the worst experience I had was okay, so my uncle works in UK. He had his friend come over to India, and they were here at my hometown. So they booked a tour where they just show around the slums. And I found it very like weird because they had a guide who was about to show them how slums are in India. I feel so offended. My inner Indian was burning. But I keep my cool and I said like it's we can't do anything. They are just two people. There are millions of people who think that we live like this. So it's kind of fucked up, you know.
How India is growing, how India is becoming a
But
nuclear power.
at the same time, US is also have one of the biggest problem of homelessness. It's not always about India. US also have problem about homelessness and drug addiction, which is the most drug addiction. I don't want to touch that topic because it will be so deep and I will talk on that topic for more 12 minutes. So I'm just not gonna maybe later.
our different achievement in different worlds. So not only science, so many sports as well, and there are multiple things where India is doing well.
Not a lot of people know that there are so many different languages in India. So I was surprised that this is like a very basic fact, but not a lot of people know about this, and they don't know that all of these languages are so different from one another that you cannot really guess, or if you know one, you cannot read the other one, you know.
You know, like everybody makes fun of arranged marriage. And then when you sit down with a Western person or whatever and explain to them, well, it's not really on gunpoint by your parents, right? It's a cool option. They're like, oh, okay, I would like that too. I wish my parents would get off their ass and do something for me, right? So, I mean, talk about body odor. Well, now people think of, oh yeah, there's a lot of body odor with Indians, right? Well, that's because there wasn't freaking deodorant for the last, 100 years over here, right? So now there is, and that's not a real problem anymore. Whatever stereotype you can kind of think of.
Still don't people use, should I say it? Fuck it, I'm saying it. Use deodorant, use anything to keep your body clean. Yes, that's it. I just want to say it because I want, in my inner, I was trying to say it, but I was like, should I say it? Should I not? Fuck, I'm saying it. Use deodorant. I'm sorry. A lot of people don't use deodorant. Use it.
There's always an answer to why, and if you sat down and explained to people, I think they would get it.
Shout out to Asian Boss Media. Good credit goes to them. I'm just watching them because I wanna farm some content. And at the end, look, what my opinion is, I guess this video was like aimless. At the end, there was no goal of saying this. I guess at that time it was a goal, but it's like asking a Polish guy if he's a Polish or European. So I don't get the point, but will I be called as an Asian or Indian? I would rather be called as Indian. But saying that, the video that they refer to, saying that India is not an Asian country, technically speaking and factually speaking, it's a Asian country. So I think that it's a pretty weird. And if you enjoyed it, video will be, if you wanna first watch this whole video, then watch their video, like their video, then like this video. If you like the video, if you like me commentating on this shit, subscribe. Am I commentating or I'm just yapping? I don't even think so. So hope you like it. If you like it, enjoy. If you don't like it, fuck off. And see you later.